Hello everyone, I'm Leo K. These are all of the side assassinations from Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. We are going to be full syncing all of them, and we're going to be achieving no detections on every single one. So you don't actually need to stay undetected in order to full sync these. It's just an additional challenge I issued to myself, because just full syncing them is actually very easy, especially if you understand how tools work. And so, just to, push the envelope a little bit, I feel like no detects was a reasonable condition to go for. So for this first one, we just need to kill 2 targets with the Hidden Blade. And these guys are both isolated, and they are, quite far away from anyone that can detect you. So if you just sneak up on them individually, it's very easy to kill them. The first one is right here. We just wait for him to turn the corner and stab him. This is some traditional line of sight stealth, which you will not see too often in the older games, but it is present on occasion. And a misconception I sometimes see is that, oh, because Assassin's Creed didn't have a crouch button, it wasn't a real stealth game, ha 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 ha. And of course that is completely false, because you need to define what you mean by stealth game. If you mean traditional stealth, line of sight stealth, then of course you'd be absolutely right. But the thing is, Assassin's Creed was heavily based on social stealth, which you'd be forgiven for, not knowing that it exists, because it doesn't exist anymore. It's not something that's common in the series, and it hasn't been for quite some time. It is, however, returning in Valhalla, so that'll be pretty cool. I'm not going to use social stealth too much throughout this video, and for those of you who've already seen it, you already know this, but that's just because the contracts aren't really set up in areas with too many usable civilians in them. Anyway, this is our second guy. We're gonna wipe him out, and that is our warm-up, nice and finished. This next contract involves taking out pretty much a convoy. There's a guy on a horse and he has a bunch of guards near him. The full sync for this is to finish it in under 2 minutes. There's a super easy way to do this, because in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, you can throw smoke bombs onto guards that you've locked onto. So what we're gonna do is grab this horse that's conveniently placed next to the pigeon coop, ride it over all these hills here. We're gonna curve around this building and jump onto this fallen column. Short hop down, grab our smoke bomb. Target any of these guys really, it doesn't really matter who. Air assassinate the horseman. From the horse, double air assassinate 2 of his guards, and then double assassinate the last 2 guards. And that's pretty much it. It's not really terribly difficult, as you can see. Three's a Crowd involves more navigation and more memorization if you are playing without heads-up display, which of course for these videos I generally like to do because it keeps the screen looking fairly clean. So the first guy, we just run up right here and we kill him, super easy. We use a high profile ledge assassinate in order to path up onto the rooftop. Here I just call my assassin to kill that guy, and they will act independently. We don't really need to keep an eye on them. These first 2 kills happen quickly enough that we can spend the rest of our playtime concerned with just navigating over to the last target. We're gonna move decently quickly. I try to break line of sight once or twice so that he doesn't finish his detection. And that's the last one. You could approach him directly from above, but he would most likely detect you by the time you reached him. So this is Serf's Turf. This mission is impossible to do no detects without smoke bombs. impossible to full synchronize anyway, because the full sync requirement is to kill the horseman with your hidden blade, and there is no way to do so stealthily if you know, just start wiping them, because they will see you. You're meant to just chase them and hop from horse to horse. That's how the game intends you to do it. But we're not going to do that because we know how the mechanics work. So one nice thing about smoke clouds in all of the games, but in Brotherhood in particular, is that when they're on the field, guards that run into them will be stunned as well. And they last for a decent amount of time. And you'll see that in use right here. So what we do is we target the horseman in the front, smoke him, and then we wait for the others to walk into the AoE. And now they're all stunned, their detection states are completely disabled, they can't see us, and they're dead. The Animus glitches out a bit because I'm just too swag for it, so it causes that guy to lunge up for a second. But that's that contract done. The Three Amici involves killing 3 soldiers with the hidden blade as well. These guys are spread out quite far apart. The challenge of this one is really just memorizing where they are and pathing to them. Which is to say, if you're playing with your minimap, there is no real difficulty in this mission. You do have to kill them all with the hidden blade, as we mentioned, but smoke makes that trivial. Once again, the game is kind of assuming that you, if you want to go no detects, it's assuming that you will smoke them, because they are all surrounded by other guards. And if you don't do this to disable the guards around them, there is simply no way to achieve full sync without being detected. Unless you take 10,000 years and very laboriously poison dart all of their allies over and over again. This is just the fastest and most efficient way. You can path down short drops by holding high profile without holding legs. Some form of parkour down has existed in all of these games from the beginning. It just requires awareness of your environment. We're gonna leave while they still have no idea what's going on. And that's the Three Amici. Red Letter Day was actually really challenging to figure out. This mission is super easy to full sync, but it was quite challenging, quite tough to figure out how to do it full sync no detects. I experimented with a lot of different things, but I found that the only way to stay undetected while also finishing it fast enough, because remember, a lot of your time is eaten up by just navigating to the area to begin with, is to, you know, smoke, call assassin, smoke, and then kill the last guy. Super easy. Right here, I just kind of wanted to show off how wide the timing window for a successful side eject or back eject is in these games. You can really hang in the air for a little bit longer than you assume. For this next one, we gotta kill a merchant, and the full sync for it is to use our recruits to assist us. Now the cool thing is, if you have max level assassins, and they are the ones that your assassin signal calls, they will always smoke bomb when they initiate. This makes our job very easy. This memory I tried to do using recruits. I wanted to do as many with recruits as was feasible because it's a fresh, new, fairly unique mechanic for Brotherhood, and by the time of Revelations it, stops being as interesting. But in this game I wanted to use recruits for this video, and I really tried in this memory, but it just wasn't working out for me. So I went full Thanos on it. I was like, fine, I'll do it myself. And just used smoke, hidden blade, and knives. I do use flying knives or charged knives, and I think that's the only time I actually use them in this video. But we're gonna open by smoking these guys. This allows us to kill them without being detected. Once again, full sync is something we're very concerned with, and no detection is something we're very concerned with. So we knife all these guys, and then stab the last one, and then we're done. Pretty smooth. That merchant was really just like shilling so hard. If you drop directly into a well, it acts as a haystack. You can drop into these from any height, and you will be completely fine. So I just use that as a quick tech to get down. Once again, playing without HUD, the majority of the challenge in this memory is just pathing and memorizing which directions to go in. But the easiest way to kill only the Cardinal without being seen is to get on a rooftop and just snipe him. And that's exactly what we're going to do. The hidden gun is stealthier than most players believe, as we've mentioned in the AC2 contracts video, but it's even stealthier in Brotherhood. It's also faster. So we just lock this guy, wait for him to walk some distance away, and then shoot him. And that's it. This one is super, super easy. Turning the tables is actually kind of interesting. The full sync requirement for this mission is misleading, because the exact wording it uses is kill one brute, one seeker, and one papal guard with their own weapon. But that's not what it actually means. What it means is kill one of each with their own weapon type. And this is what allows us to do it no detected. Because if we had to kill them with their own weapon, then we would be forced to disarm them and get into combat. But since we don't need to do that, since full sync does get ticked if you kill them with their own weapon type, we can kill their buddy, take their buddy's weapon, and then use their buddy's weapon on them. And this way, it's valid, it clears. So that is what we'll do. We'll use Poison Punch to knock these guys down really quickly. We poison one, smoke them both. Any enemy that you punch while they're poisoned will instantly drop, and you can pick up their weapon. There is no way to guarantee Ezio picks up a weapon over a corpse, but generally facing the weapon directly will make him more likely to do so. Near the end of this memory, you will see me pick up a body, unfortunately. And, that's just something that I left in to show how ridiculous getting this no detect can be. Also, I'm flailing madly here because I really don't want that guy to wake up from the smoke stun before I kill him. And whacking him to death with the axe that way is almost more disturbing and more brutal than doing an actual animation on him. I found that pretty funny at the time. Last two, Papal Guards. Same principle. Smoke, Poison Punch. We do not want this. We want this. Flailing madly again. I do proc the animation though, and that is that. This contract has an interesting but fairly common bug where if you do not enter the courtyard when you kill the guards, the memory will not complete. So if you kill the guards and the targets without entering the courtyard, you will just be stuck like that until you actually drop down into it. Special thanks to Ezio Audacity for helping me figure that out. You can just run right past all these guys. Their SSIs will not fill up fast enough. We're being a little ballsy here because there is a guard patrolling behind us. Thankfully he wasn't looking at me. So doing this without detection is also somewhat difficult. The only requirement here is don't lose any health. But we're going to poison a few of these guys. Poisoning one of the Papal Guards sparring on the right causes his buddy to detach from him and cluster up to the left. This is really useful because enemies being clumped up allows us to do that, and then we can just arrow storm everybody. So now almost everyone is dead except for a few more guards down here, 2 of whom are burning out from poison and 1 of whom is leisurely walking around. We poisoned the last one, now everyone is dying from poison, and we're just going to do a quick walk by the Papal Guard to make sure he's dead. He sure is dead, alright. And the last memory is really just a meme. It's meant to be a callback to the AC2 contract where Ezio kills a bunch of brutes on a bridge in like a certain time limit, but with Arrow Storm, it's just super, super easy. You just run up here and arrow storm them. I'm pretty sure almost every player finished this contract this way. Nearly everyone I've talked to says as much. It's just the obvious solution. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to be doing more Assassin's Creed stuff when I get the opportunity to, and I will see everyone next time. Stay sneaky.